Nobody took Miguel seriously when he talked about his wife. He was only 6 years old. Children invent things. Everyone was saying that. But Miguel never said she was imaginary. He always said she was real, but it wasn't ready yet. The first time happened on an ordinary afternoon. Miguel was sitting on the living room floor playing with toy cars. It stopped suddenly. He remained motionless, looking at the empty corner near the door. The mother asked what was wrong. Miguel answered without taking his eyes off nothing. She arrived early today. The mother laughed. He asked who. Miguel responded with unsettling nonchalance. The woman of tomorrow. The sentence sounded awkward hanging in the air, but the mother ignored it. He continued making dinner. Children invent strange names. That night Miguel woke up crying, not out of fear, confusion. He said the woman was acting differently, more tired, even sadder. She doesn't like it when I tell her, he said. The mother asked who had said that. Miguel replied, herself. In the following days, Miguel began to describe the woman in more detail. Always the same ones. She was tall. She wore light-colored clothes. He had sunken eyes, like someone who hadn't slept well, and she always appeared looking at him as if she were late. Late for what? The father asked. Miguel thought for a moment before answering. To turn her over. That's when the father stopped laughing. Miguel began to foresee small things. Simple things. A glass that was about to fall. An unexpected visit. A connection that would ring. Always after talking to the woman. When asked how he knew, Miguel replied, she remembers now. One morning, Miguel woke up with a fever. He stared at the ceiling. He whispered, she's here now. The room was empty, but the wardrobe mirror reflected something strange. The mother swore that for a second, she saw someone behind her son. He blinked. It disappeared. Miguel began to draw the woman. All the drawings were the same, and they all had one disturbing detail. The woman's face looked, the mother's face, but always a little different. Older, more pronounced, more tired. When the mother asked why the drawings were like that, Miguel replied softly, because she is you. But tomorrow. At school, Miguel told the teacher that she shouldn't cross the street that day. The teacher laughed. He ignored it. In the afternoon, a car lost control at the corner near the school. No one died, but it was a close call. Miguel wasn't scared. He only commented, she warned us. The parents started arguing at night, whispering, thinking that Miguel was asleep. He wasn't sleeping. In the darkness of the room, he spoke to himself. You shouldn't have come so early. Silence answered. Miguel started talking about things that hadn't happened yet. Discussions, decisions, silences. Always staring at an empty spot in the house. The woman of tomorrow seemed to arrive earlier and earlier, and Miguel seemed increasingly tired. One night he asked his mother, when I stop seeing her? What? The mother asked. Will you remember? The mother didn't understand. Miguel added, or will it be too late? That morning, the mother woke up with the feeling of being watched. The room was dark, but the mirror reflected a silhouette behind her. A woman, with her face, but older, and much more tired. The woman in the mirror didn't move. He didn't blink. He didn't breathe. The mother turned around suddenly. The room was empty. Miguel was sleeping curled up, sweating slightly. When she turned her eyes back to the mirror, there was no one else there, but the feeling remained. The next morning, Miguel woke up feeling strange, too quiet. He didn't order coffee. He didn't ask anything. He sat down at the table and stared blankly into space, as if listening to someone speaking softly. She's wrong today, he said suddenly. The mother asked what was wrong. Miguel took a while to reply. She's forgetting things. The father tried to joke. He asked if the woman had lost her keys. Miguel didn't laugh. No, he said seriously. She's forgetting who started first. In the days that followed, Miguel began to exchange words. He called objects by other names. He confused verb tenses. He would say yesterday when he meant tomorrow. The doctors mentioned childhood stress, active imagination, nothing to worry about. But Miguel started making mistakes he never used to make before. The name itself, the house address, the father's face. And whenever he made a mistake, she was looking at the same corner of the room. She's getting weak, he said. The mother also began to have lapses. I kept forgetting where I had put things. I used to forget appointments. I was forgetting simple words. One afternoon, she stood still in the kitchen holding a spoon without remembering why he had gone in there. Miguel watched in silence. It's happening too fast, he murmured. At night, he began waking up screaming, not out of fear, urgent. "You can't sleep now," he told his mother. "If you sleep, she'll arrive." The mother tried to calm him down. He said he was there, that everything was fine. Miguel shook his head. "You haven't arrived yet." At school, Miguel started drawing only mirrors. No one, nowhere, only surfaces reflecting other surfaces. The teacher called the parents. He said that Miguel seemed to live out of place, as if he were always a few seconds away from the present. Miguel corrected, "It's not seconds. These are days." That night, the mother dreamed that she was sitting in her son's room. Miguel, an adult, was standing before her. He was saying something she couldn't hear. It moved its mouth. He insisted. When she woke up, she had dried tears on her face, and a strange certainty that he had forgotten something very important. Miguel started talking less. He would spend long periods in silence, observing. When he spoke, it was to correct. "Don't do that. That's not the way to go. You've already tried that." The mother asked how he knew. Miguel replied, "Because you already tried." But later, one afternoon, the mother saw her reflection in the glass door of the balcony. The reflex seemed delayed, as if he wasn't exactly following her movements. He blinked. The reflection blinked afterward. She felt extremely nauseous. He leaned against the wall. Miguel appeared behind her. "Don't stare too much," he said. "She learns when you look." The mother started avoiding mirrors. It covered some. He turned others towards the wall. Miguel watched everything with a tired expression, like someone watching something inevitable unfold. "She's trying to cross," he said one night. "Cross what?" the mother asked. "Now." The following morning, the mother woke up to the sound of footsteps in the house. Lightweight. Careful. He stood up slowly. The house was dark, but the mirrors reflected light. In the hallway, he saw something impossible. In the closet mirror, the woman was outside, with his back to the reflection, standing in the royal corridor. The mother tried to scream. He couldn't. Miguel appeared at the end of the hallway. "I warned you," he said. She arrived too early. The woman turned slowly. She had her mother's face, but his eyes were deep-set, ancient, tired of repeating ourselves. She smiled. "Now do you remember?" he asked. Miguel closed his eyes. "Not yet," he replied. "But it will." The mirror cracked. The house seemed to contract. The mother felt a sharp pain in her head. Images that were not of her began to surface. Decisions I didn't remember making. Mistakes I hadn't made before. Miguel held her hand. "When I stop seeing her," he whispered, "you'll be her." The woman took a step forward. The mirror behind her darkened. "That's how it always works," the woman said. Miguel let go of his mother's hand. "Not this time." He looked in the mirror. "Now it's my turn." The reflection trembled. Miguel walked towards the glass surface. The mother tried to hold him back, but it passed through his body as if it were smoke. Miguel touched the mirror. The surface gave way. Like water. The woman screamed. Not from pain. Late. Miguel disappeared. The mirror once again reflected only the empty hallway. The following morning, Miguel was nowhere to be found. There were no signs of forced entry. No explanation. The mother looked in the bedroom mirror. She only saw herself. But now the reflection seemed too tired, and he knew things that she didn't yet remember. The following days passed with a constant feeling of being behind schedule, as if the house were always half a second behind reality. Doors creaked after being closed. Footsteps echoed even when no one was walking. The mother started waking up tired. Not physical tiredness, a deeper wear and tear. It was as if he had spent the entire night remembering things he had never experienced. She avoided Miguel's room, but the hallway mirror was in the way, and sometimes, when it went by too fast, I had the impression of seeing a movement that wasn't in line with her body. The reflex seemed to be learning. One morning, she found a new drawing on the table. I didn't remember doing it, not even having seen him before. It was a large mirror, and inside it, a child. But the child had its back turned, and in place of the face, there was only a blank space. In the corner of the paper, written in childish handwriting, "Now I see you." She felt a tightness in her chest. He tried to throw the paper away, but the drawing reappeared hours later, in the same place. That night, she began to hear Miguel's voice. It wasn't coming from any specific room. It came from home. "Nothing changes," the voice said, low. "Just watch." She answered aloud without realizing it. He asked where he was. He asked if I was okay. Silence answered. The following morning, the bathroom mirror was uncovered. She was sure she had covered him up before going to sleep, but the cloth was folded up in the sink. In the reflection, he saw his own face, and behind him, something that didn't yet have a defined shape, a silhouette under construction. He blinked. The silhouette blinked afterward. She turned her face away from the mirror. The reflection took a while to move away. The house began to repeat gestures. The tap dripped twice after being turned off. The light flickered after being turned off. The echo of her words came after she had finished speaking. It was as if the future was rehearsing. She dreamt that she was walking down the street with Miguel, but Miguel was taller, more seriously, and he looked at her with the same tired expression as the woman in the mirror. "You've arrived," he said, but it arrived at the wrong place. When she woke up, she was certain that the dream wasn't hers. It was a memory. That afternoon, as I passed the hallway mirror, he saw something different. The reflection no longer showed the present. It showed the empty house, no furniture, no photos, and in the center of the reflected corridor, she was alone, much older, with the same tired look. She touched the glass. He felt cold. A phrase slowly appeared in the reflection, as if it were formed by the vapor of respiration. "You took too long." She stepped back. The glass shattered. That night the house was completely silent. No creaking, no crackling sound, no echo. A silence so perfect it hurt. She sat down in the room, looking directly into the covered mirror. I sensed that something was waiting on the other side, not for crossing, but to be replaced. "Miguel?" she called, her voice faltering. The cloth covering the mirror fell off by itself. The reflection showed the room. It showed her sitting down, but the gaze of the reflection was not on her. It was facing backwards. The mother turned slowly. Nothing. When she returned to the mirror, the reflection smiled. Not her smile, a learned smile. Miguel's voice echoed for the last time, softly. "Now you understand." The reflection raised its hand. She raised her hand afterward, and for the first time I couldn't say which of the two movements was the original. The smile in the mirror didn't disappear when she lowered her hand. It remained there, suspended, as if its existence no longer depended on her. She took a step back. The reflex took a step forward. My heart raced, not out of fright. Recognition. That's what Miguel was trying to explain. It wasn't an invasion. It was a slow replacement. The house began to react. The walls cracked like old wood. The ground vibrated beneath her feet, not like a tremor. As an adjustment, she felt a short pain in her temple. Images surfaced without warning. Scenes I didn't remember experiencing. Conversations that hadn't happened yet. She found herself arguing with someone she didn't yet know. She found herself crying in a place she had never visited. He found himself looking in a mirror and saying words he hadn't yet learned. The pain is gone. The tiredness remained. She began to forget Miguel's face, not all at once, in pieces. First the sound of laughter, then the way of walking, finally the eyes. But in return she remembered things that weren't hers. Tough decisions, long nights, silences that weighed more than screams. The reflection now perfectly matched his movements. No delay. Flawless. She seemed to arrive later. One morning, he woke up with the feeling that someone was in the house. Not an intruder, a resident. He walked down the hallway. He stopped in front of the mirror. The reflection was already there, waiting. "You took your time," said the woman at the glass in her own voice, but with an intonation that he hadn't yet mastered. She tried to deny it, but he couldn't find the words. The reflection continued. "He always warns us. He always tries to correct it, but someone needs to arrive." She understood then. Miguel couldn't see the future, through continuity, via whoever took over later. The woman of tomorrow was not a threat. It was a function. The house seemed to agree. Everything became more stable. Fewer ranges, fewer echoes. She felt strangely calm, like someone who finally understands their role. At night he sat in front of the mirror without covering it. He looked at his own face. He noticed new details, deeper lines, more attentive eyes. The reflection smiled again, this time at the same time as her. "And when does it start?" she asked. The reflex responded without moving its lips. "It has already begun." That morning, he dreamed of a child, a little boy, sitting on the living room floor, staring into an empty corner. He turned his face away and asked, "Did you arrive early today?" She woke up with her heart racing, but without fear. The next morning, he left for work. He passed by the hallway mirror. The reflection followed her. Normal. Perfect. But when he got to the elevator, he saw something new in the glass of the closed doors. A child, standing behind her, looking directly at the reflection. She didn't turn around. She smiled gently, and he said almost in a whisper, "Not yet, but soon." The elevator went down, and somewhere in time, someone started to see the woman of tomorrow.